We are live. Hello, everybody. I am so excited for today's Instagram Live. We have quite a few, I love typos. We have quite a few things to talk about today. So I am just waiting for everybody to start coming into the room. I'm going to start accepting our awesome co-hosts. Okay, let's see if this is going to work. Hello, everyone. Hi, hi. Hi.
I don't hear anything.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. What's up?
Not
Can you
much.
guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I can't hear.
You can't hear her?
Uh-uh.
Try turning up your volume on your. You did?
Yeah.
Okay, bring it here for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Kate's. I'm gonna look at. We're set up in
In
different rooms
different
right now because
rooms. Yeah.
yeah, and we're using like two different mic systems so we can
I
make it work.
know. I was gonna use my mini mics, then it was being glitchy with me, and I'm like, forget it. I'm not
Oh,
even
really?
gonna.
You took it
Yeah.
out? Maybe I should just tell Kate to take hers out. Kate, you might just want to disconnect.
Yeah, just if you're gonna be in two separate rooms, it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell her. Hold on. One.
Yeah.
Just
What's up,
disconnect the receiver,
everybody?
okay?
We're just getting everybody on because we were trying to be fancy with some hooked up microphones, and technology just sometimes doesn't want to play nice in the sandbox, which is fine. But we're really excited about today. We have so much value to add to everybody. So I'm
Yes,
really
we
excited.
do.
Really excited. What's up? I'm so excited we're doing this.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is like my second time that I've gone live on the gram. So
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
I'm glad I'm part of your new Instagram live journey. It's kind of just like a FaceTime call. Like that's what it kind of feels like. Um, but I'm really excited. Okay, here she is. Let's see if this is gonna work. Um, yeah, I'm just really excited to bring some East Coast heat to everybody
Yeah,
today.
the East Coast. So where are you in the East Coast exactly?
I
So,
made it.
hi, is this working? Can we
Yes.
hear each
Now
other? Are we
I
good?
can hear
Okay, great.
everything. Thank you.
So I'm on Long Island. So New York, born and raised. So yeah, I'm a Long Island chick. But I'm so excited that both of you are open to this very impromptu IG live. I just feel like you all are so like both of you are so much in alignment with like my vibe and my energy and like values as a marketing agency and production company. So I'm just excited to connect with you. So just so everybody knows, this is the first time we're meeting each other as well. But it just goes to show you, right? Like social media can be fun. Like bringing back that social aspect to social is what it's all about. So
100%.
I'm excited. So I guess maybe both of you can introduce yourselves. I'll do the same after both of you go, just so everyone's kind of oriented to who we are, what we do, and all the things.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Kate, do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, I guess. So I am Aaron Howard. I'm a videographer, but I also specialize in social media marketing. And so the videos that I help my clients produce, I also help them position them in a way where they're going to perform. And when I say perform, that means get reach, generate sales and leads with the content that I'm producing for them. So that's kind of my deal and what I do for people around here and around the country.
Awesome. Awesome. So good. So good. How about you, Kate?
Yeah. So I'm actually a real estate agent by trade who used I got some training, did some coaching, and learned that I could get leads and in from Instagram instead of doing it the old fashioned way with cold calling and
Yeah.
print media and all this kind of stuff. So I just kind of went all in on it and I dove in on it and realized that's how my preferred method of reaching out to people
Awesome.
and letting them know about my services. And then I realized, oh, this actually, let's try it for Aaron's business. And it worked again. And so now we, our little group coaching call that we try to do on the side is to help other people realize they can do this too. It doesn't matter what your niche is. Anybody can, grow on social media, find your people.
Absolutely. No, it's such a pleasure to meet both of you and connect with both of you. Just to introduce myself, my name is Melissa. I'm here on Long Island, born and raised. I own a creative branding agency called Grit and Grace Design Studio. So we do everything from websites and logo design to social media marketing, content marketing. What else do? We do business consulting. We also do podcast management services as well. Branding, photography, videography. We kind of try and be that one-stop shop for all things branding here on Long Island. So that's me, but I'm similar to Kate. I didn't start doing this. I was actually a clinical psychotherapist by trade. So yes.
That's so funny because by trade I'm a registered nurse and I'm also a certified yoga instructor, and like I that's kind of what led me to where I am now, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's so fascinating to be around so many people and know so many people who had a 9 to 5 and they jumped ship because they believed in themselves and what they could offer and value the world around them. So I mean, congrats to you for jumping out of that.
Yeah, you too. You guys too. It's so funny where we end up, right? How we're called in different seasons of our life to like help people and serve people. And I know that both of you have so much to say about social media in 2025, like the do's and don'ts, like what the three of us are leaning into and doing in 2025, what we're kind of backing away from and staying away from. So I'm just really excited to get practical with everybody who's watching, and also for anybody tuning in, whether live or watching this afterwards, the replay, please drop your questions in the live chat. Please put your questions in the comment box. Like, please pick our brains. Let us add value to you. So hopefully you can get to that next level in your brand and business too. So I just want to mention that before we start riffing. If anyone has questions, we can see them and we can speak to them.
Perfect.
Sound good?
Love that. Love it.
Awesome. So let's break this down, crew. Like let's get into the sauce here.
Yes.
For both of you, with the trends that you're seeing, right? Going into 2025 and even thinking about 2026, which is like crazy. What are some things that as a company and as a brand and a business, what are your do's? Like what are you going all in on and leaning into to take it to the next threshold for you guys?
I love that. Go ahead, Kate.
I was going to say, I mean, I think more than ever, authenticity is huge right now. Being who you are in person, that you are on social media, because, for many reasons, right? So that when people meet you in person, they realize that you're the same person that you are. And also, so that you attract your right tribe. You know what I mean? You don't want to be fake and then attract the wrong people, and then it's not as fun to, work with the wrong people. Totally. So I think we're leaning into that more. Obviously I feel like we've always tried to be authentic as much as possible. But also, just helping our group coaching clients know that too. Like, you guys don't have to be this other person or who you think you need to be on Instagram. Just be yourself, and you're going to win every single time. Totally.
Yeah. People could definitely pick up, if you're being genuine or not. And, you don't want to be that. And the best compliment that I've ever received is that when I meet people, they say, dude, you are exactly who you are in person that I see on social media. There's no difference.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is the best compliment. And that's the feedback that you want people to give you, right?
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I think the value of staying in your authenticity lane is what separates people for sure. And, I work a lot with wellness and like spiritual based businesses, because before I launched Grit and Grace, I was a spiritual based entrepreneur. So I very much rubbed elbows and continue to do so. And even specifically in that industry, it's like, oh my gosh, it's even more integral to what it is
Yeah.
that to what it is that you're to what it is that you're doing. And you know, it almost makes our jobs like as the creatives and the content creators and like the production people, when someone knows who they are, they know what they bring to the table, so the clients can pick up what they're putting down. That makes our lives easier too, because then we can harness that essence and that energy of who you really are and showcase that and leverage that. So like Kate said, so the right people are gonna find you,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like authenticity, I totally agree. That's definitely a do in terms of social media
Yeah.
in um in 2025. And I think also figuring out how to be efficient and work smarter and not harder. Like I especially with our content marketing clients, I work with a lot of people that are trying to streamline the content creation process. They're overwhelmed with figuring out like trends and like this and like that. And I think as entrepreneurs and brands, we tend to overcomplicate things. Like, dude, like just mic yourself up for like 3 minutes and riff on something. And we can chop that up to being a major piece of content for so many different platforms. You know, it's like I feel like we need to get you know, make things more simple because I feel like we complicate things and we make it bigger in our head than like it needs to be. Does that resonate with both of you? Like, do you, would you agree with that too?
Yes. Anything efficiency or doing it the best possible way to get the most bang for, I mean, that's my motto for
Well,
sure.
that's
Like,
kind of what we teach in our program too. Is it's why our side business is called downstream marketing, because
Yeah.
we want you to flow downstream with it. It's easy. If you're steadily trying to paddle upstream, you're working too hard. You're not going to get anywhere. So we want the process to be easy. And most times we find out is that people are just trying to overcomplicate things. They're using third party apps. They're trying to use mini clips and different, just like all kinds of stuff
fancy
that's just not
fonts
necessary.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
fancy fonts and filters,
Yeah.
stuff that's just not necessary. And I
Yeah.
tell people, just say what you want to say and just be organic with it,
Yeah.
and you will attract the right people.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So like for example, right? Like we're doing just a great example, we're doing this Instagram live, right? But there's so much value that the three of us are saying. So what are we just gonna like let this video just like go in the cemetery of Instagram archives? No. We're gonna use this content after this.
Yes.
So even if you business owners out there can jump on an Instagram live with someone in your niche, someone in your industry, a client that you worked with that had a really great experience, use that as social proof to leverage who you are and what it is that you do. Like we we really do tend to overcomplicate it, and at the end of the day, yeah, like authenticity, definitely efficiency. And then I also think like just clarity around like your purpose
Yes.
and like your why, right? Like God,
Yes.
that's what people buy into, like yes, they buy goods and services and like products, but like no, like what's the story? Like what's the juice behind it?
Right. Yeah, that's it. And that's like kind of for me, like the number one thing. A lot of entrepreneurs, they jump into social media and they just jump in without a marketing strategy, and that they set themselves up for failure because they have no strategy, no system, no plan of how they're trying to execute what they're trying to accomplish. They're just posting just to post. And if
Check a box.
entrepreneurs, if there's some out there that want to post just to post, to have an online presence, to see, to have a landing page,
Right.
that's fine. But if you're posting to generate leads and sales, you have to have a strategy. You can't just be posting shit just to be posting shit. You know what I mean? Like it has to
Yeah.
be your message has to be succinct. You have to know your ideal client, and you have to talk as if you are the ideal client with your content. And a lot of people don't understand that. They focus on themselves, and they're dancing around and doing all this stuff. It's not about you. It's about your client.
Right.
So talk
Yeah.
as if you are in your client's shoes, so you can relate to them. Stop fucking dancing around and doing all this stuff that doesn't make any sense. You're providing no value.
Right, right. Yeah, because I feel like our audience and like the intended target that we want to work with, they want to feel heard, they want to feel acknowledged, and they want to feel seen. And I think that's, that's one of the things, if you understand the psychology of selling, right? And the psychology of social selling, it's like, yeah, like people want to hear in their mind, like, oh my gosh, they understand me. Oh my gosh, yeah, like me too. Yes, I feel seen. I feel heard. So it's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
And I would just like to, add to that. A lot of people I reach out to asking, if they'd want to be in our coaching program. I usually only reach out to people that I think we could help,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't want people that we can't help. And they'll be like, oh, I already have a virtual assistant doing all my social media for me. And I'm like, I know, I see that. Unfortunately, you can't fully have someone do all your like you can't remove yourself from the process. I mean, you can, it's just not going to be successful in what you're thinking it's going to do, right? So I tell people, like, you can't fully give that job away 100%. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to make the videos. No one can make the videos as you. No one can talk to the camera in their stories. That no one can replace you in that. And static post with stock images don't cut it anymore. It just,
No.
you're just checking a box to say that you have a
Yeah.
a social media page that you're posting on, but it's not doing anything. You might as well save your money and not do anything at all, in my opinion. But
Yeah. I think that's definitely a don't in
yeah.
2025 is like you gotta ditch the stock images constantly. Like I think it's okay to weave it in intermittently when you're kind of in a crunch with some content, right? Like there's a time and place for stock, right? Especially like there's some pretty decent like stock video subscriptions you can get now related to your niche, like you know what I'm saying? But I understand what you're saying too, Kate. Like you can't. It's just you have to be mindful, like, okay, what is my competition doing as well? You think they're like posting stock 24/7? No. So yeah, it's so true. Are there any other do's um that you guys can think of? So we said authenticity, efficiency, clarity around your why, clarity around your purpose. Like some of the clients that are in the coaching program right now, like what are some things that you're seeing them do and you're like, yes, exactly. That's what we should be doing.
Putting their face to the camera and talking to their ideal clients.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like getting them to be okay with putting your face on Instagram. I mean, it feels like you're talking to yourself,
it
right?
Does.
When you do this.
Yeah.
And it's very awkward.
Yeah.
But the only way to get better at it is to do it. There's no like fast forward. It's just like when you're, trying to get fit, you can't just go from, a big belly to a six pack. It doesn't work like that. You really have to work at it every day to get better. And that's one thing where we're so happy with our clients we see them on camera. We're like, good job. Like it wasn't as bad as you thought it was it?
Yeah, they're getting better, they're improving, and there's once we begin with understanding their marketing strategy too. So once they understand that, then now they have a guide as to how to create the content they need to create to attract their ideal client. You know what I mean? And so helping them through that, and then seeing them generate leads and sales and landing big gigs and stuff, is just like we talk about wins on every call, and it's pretty cool what people have been accomplishing in such a short amount of time.
That's amazing. Yeah, definitely visibility, right? Like being seen, visibility. I just spoke about this whole theme at a speaking gig like about 2 weeks ago, and it's like we have to get over this fear of visibility and being seen. And it's very confronting being an entrepreneur and being in business, because it's like you have to go forward facing. You have to show your face, especially if your brand isn't just like product based, it's service based. People need to know, like, and trust you before they invest in you. So totally, visibility is so crucial.
Yeah, it's important to know that you are your brand. You
Yeah.
know, like you are your billboard, you know, like you are the face. You know, and a lot of entrepreneurs are like, oh, I'll just let my company, you know, the name of it stand out. I'm like, you can't do that. You're not relatable then.
Yeah.
You know, you're just a sign
Yeah.
to me or a picture, you know, like I can't identify with you. So
Yeah. There's definitely this. I feel like in 2025, it's very clear that brands need to have a humanity,
Yes.
humanness, quality to them. And I feel like the content has to reflect that as well. Like, I'm sure you've seen it too. What, like when you share behind the scenes stuff, when you share like the day in the life, when you share, everything that goes into what it is that you do in an unfiltered way, people love that. People are like, oh, okay, this is, and like, like you said too, when people see, oh, you're the same person, you are the same person. That's like what it's all about. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. Okay, so those are some pretty good do's. I mean, I feel like that's pretty practical. And anyone who's still watching, if you have any questions, please drop it. Please drop it below. Someone
puff.
said no such thing as camera shy around these two. Oh my gosh. But you want to know something kind of funny? I want to share a personal story before we switch over to the don'ts. Is that when I was a little girl, I had the worst stutter. Like, such a bad stutter. So much like, oh my gosh, if I had to read anything and like talk in front of anybody, like I had such, oh my gosh, so much like social anxiety around it. And then, of course, as I got older, I got better. I went through speech therapy as a little girl, like it was fine. But when I became an entrepreneur and I had to talk to a camera or I had to facilitate um, groups or like do public speaking, it was so confronting because that's the thing. I feel like when your purpose is connected to your brand and your business, it like brings up all the stuff that you need to heal, that you need to work through. So you could be, the best version of who you are. But if you struggle with visibility and like working through being seen, like that's why a coach, like having a coach like both of you is so helpful.
100%.
Having a creative director like myself on site helping coach you and like talk you through, like, all right, like let's work through what's going on here and let's anchor to what the value is, what your why is, what your purpose is, who you're meant to serve, what your gifts are. Because then once we focus on those bigger things, you know, like they work through it, but it takes time, it takes time.
It takes time.
Yep.
I started. So that's the thing. Like people
Yeah.
look at us and they think I just started yesterday, but the truth is, I started back in 2016. When I was getting out of nursing school, I was hired by a holistic doctor to be the face of the company. And
Wow.
so we had hired a videographer to follow me around everywhere. I had to make vlogs and talk to the camera
Wow.
and just talk about whatever. And before you knew it, we were building our brand and building the business. We were getting so much traffic into the doctor's office because I was showing up on video, just being myself, being funny and relatable, and giving some information about health and wellness at
Yeah.
the same time. And so I just got used to doing that, and I saw how good it was and how I helped build that business. Then that's when I decided, okay, I could do this on my own.
Yeah.
So I quit and I started doing it on my own and marketing myself, like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I started helping other businesses do the same. And
Yeah.
it was just unbelievable, like what that can do to grow a brand and business. And so, of
Yeah.
course, when we moved here, we didn't have a sphere of influence. We had to start all over. And so that's when Kate said we went all in on social media,
Cool.
and we were back on this again.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
slowly started to grow.
This was
Yeah.
I mean, actually
Works.
pretty quickly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
It totally works. So let's switch over to some don'ts, things that we want to stay away from. And someone wrote, can we please end the trend of talking to the camera while driving?
I agree with that one.
Yeah. And it says
Yeah.
realtors and looking at you.
Realtors, I'm looking at. I
like,
don't do that, but I see other people do that, so I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
what is that? So is it like something that happens with like real estate agents? Like they'll kind of like do a debrief in the car? Like what does that look like usually?
I don't do it, but I see other people like they just talking while they're driving.
Oh.
I feel like some people might have like a Tesla or something that's driving for them. I don't know if they feel safe about it, or maybe they're just in the school. I mean, I feel like if you're parked, you're fine. But
Yeah,
I mean, no, but realtors or anyone, no one should be driving and Instagramming
yeah,
face to camera.
yeah,
I think that's just a
yeah.
safety
Yeah,
no.
I
So
totally
I
agree
agree.
with you. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, let's try not to break laws when creating content.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. And
Might
I
be
think,
on the common sense list of
yeah,
what
yeah,
not to do.
that maybe that's a good don't.
Yeah.
Try if you can. Try not to,
Yes.
And I understand we lead busy lives. Sometimes the only time you feel like you have time to make content is when you're driving. But
I see
yeah,
people do it in the when they pick up their kids. They're in the pickup line.
yeah,
That's okay. If you're parked and you're in the pickup line
yeah,
picking
yeah,
up your
yeah,
kids,
yeah.
that's actually a
Yeah, I
good
think if
time.
you're parked.
It's a good use of
Absolutely.
time. You're just sitting there anyway, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. You want to be safe when creating content. Safety is always really important, of course. So I guess that's a good first. Don't do something illegal when you're
Yes.
creating content. Um, but what about you guys? Like, what do you think are some don'ts? What are some things that you would kind of guide people to avoid in
I
2025?
would say buying followers is a big don't.
Oh yeah, totally. Tell everybody why.
Okay.
Why is that? Oh no.
Well, I guess my theory on it is, if the algorithm is looking at your stuff
Yeah,
and they see, 5% people like it, and you have all these fake followers who aren't engaging, the percentage of people goes way low. So then it tells
yeah,
Instagram that your content isn't valuable. And so you're actually doing yourself a disservice in the long run.
yes. So though it may be tempting to purchase followers for vanity metrics, in the long run it can tank your account. So true. So
Yes.
true. And that was actually I was really excited when I launched Grit and Grace to start a whole second account. Cause like my Moonful Mama account was like connected to my previous niche and industry and brand. So even for algorithm reasons, I started from scratch. Which is great. So now the population are so curated, and that's a huge one. Huge. Definitely good to. Sorry, it's my dog. That's definitely good to avoid in 2025. Absolutely. I know it could be tempting, and the people that I know that have done that are having that problem. It's like I'm doing all this selling and I have no engagement, and I'm like, it's because half of them are bots. Like, it's like that's why. So that's really a great one. What are some other ones? So what are some other don'ts? So no followers. What else?
Aaron, why don't you go hit them with some video don'ts? Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's your niche.
that's a good one. So I see a lot of times. It's actually one of my biggest pet peeves. This is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I
Uh-oh.
can't stand it. But because maybe it has a little bit to do with my ADHD. I don't know. But a big don't is when you show up on video, you don't need to say "Happy Friday." Hey guys, it's me, Aaron.
We know it's
And you know like those things, like you don't need to do those openers, happy Friday, good, hey guys, it's me. Or just hey, I'm here and I'm having a conversation with Melissa and Kate on Facebook Live. This is awesome because we're talking about the do's and do nots of social media marketing. This is very valuable information. If you guys are missing this, you might want to come back on later and rewatch this video. That's I see how I get to the point. I'm not wasting anyone's time. I'm getting to the point. I'm giving you the juice, the meat, and
yeah,
everything you need to know. I did it really quickly there, but you don't have to be quick. But my point is, get to the point. Okay, give me the juice. Okay, straight away. I don't want to have to wait 10 seconds into the video because you've already lost me. And I think people don't understand. You only have the first second, 2 seconds of a video to grab someone's attention to keep them engaged in your video. So if you're talking about Happy Friday, it's a beautiful day, you've lost me. I'm scrolling on.
you're like,
I'm gone.
I'm done. I know what day it is.
Right.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. I know what day it is.
I know.
I know who you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about being a good communicator, right? It's all about getting to the point. Never make a story without making a point. Never make a point without telling a story, right? It's just like, be clear. Be clear. Totally.
Yes.
Yeah, those are really good ones. And I think I mean I have a couple of don'ts, but the low-hanging fruit that I'm thinking of is not, sorry about that. Not being intentional with how you're showing up, right? So this is an example. I saw a brand not like a couple weeks ago, one of their it wasn't even like the main face of the brand, but like their employees are also faces of the brand, if you know what I'm saying, if you've seen that before. And the woman was like dressed like she looked like a little girl, like she had, and she was like in her 30s, like she had this very foofy dress on, she had bows in her hair, and she's like trying to upsell like a class about manifesting money. And I'm like, I don't know if I take financial advice from a little girl. I don't know. Like, can I trust you? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we have to do a better job. And listen, not that you have to have the perfect outfit on, like, that's not what I'm saying. But I think we have to own how we're showing up and like the subliminal messages we're sending to people based on how we're showing up. You know, because it wasn't a talking video, it was just like a video of her walking and sitting down. But it's like we have to be a little more intentional. So like that's what I would say. Like don't be ignorant or naive when you do hit that record button. You know, what kind of subliminal messages is this sending to upsell something that you're doing? Like, not that she should be showing up in a blazer and looking like a corporate girly. That's not what I'm saying. But do you know what I'm trying to get at? It's like we have to be intentional with the subliminal messages that we're sending out, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Consistency. Yeah. Consistency with your brand and not being, all over the place. And,
Yeah.
you don't want anyone questioning what you do when they land on your page.
Right. It should be very, very clear. And like the last thing you want to do is have someone trust you based on like an outfit you're wearing. Like, how silly is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, goodness. So I think that's like one of the things too is you have to have a lot of clarity around your brand identity and how you show up. And I'm glad you brought up consistency too. Yes, you should be showing up consistently, right? Like in frequency. But I also think consistency is being recognizable. I also think consistency is having a pretty sharp sense of how you should show up, not just in value and in how you speak and communicate, but what you wear and how you dress. And you know what I mean? So I think we have to be more intentional. Don't be ignorant or naive and just, because you never know the message that you're sending,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
All part of your brand, your personal brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it. That's exactly it. I think some people don't realize, the messages that they're giving. Like we saw this video, and some videos sometimes go viral because people just don't, like this guy had, he's a bigger set guy and he has these tight clothes on. It's super tight. And I mean, it's just like, what are you wearing, dude? Like you have to know that does not look good on you.
Yeah.
And of course, people in the comments,
Exactly.
just, being people and stuff like that. But it got him attention, but I don't think that's the attention he was looking for.
I don't think it was satire. I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Just because you go viral, right? That doesn't mean that it's converting to anything. Like I've had videos get more like 5 million hits before, right? Like that doesn't mean
No.
that doesn't mean that that's converting to cash or leads, right? So listen, I'm all for jumping on trends and like have fun with it because as you should, but just don't make going viral your be all end all goal because that doesn't necessarily convert to sales or followers. Like that guy that posted that, like if he did own a business that's so, I mean, maybe if he sold like shorts or something, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. Like you went viral, you have 1 million hits, like great. But is that converting to sales and like followers? So that's another don't for me is like, don't chase the virality
Yeah.
trophy. It doesn't mean, and it could mean nothing.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You know, we've had viral videos, 19 million
Yeah,
views and all this other stuff. But like,
yeah,
yeah, did I get some followers? Yeah. But
sure.
are they followers that are going to hire me for video production service or social
Not
media coaching? No, probably
right.
not. You know.
Exactly.
I would
Exactly.
also say with the trend stuff, it's, you don't have to jump on every trend. Like every once in a while it makes sense, but only do trends that align with your brand. Like I am not a dancer.
Yeah.
So you will not see me doing
Exactly.
dancing reels because, I
Yeah.
just embarrass myself and it might end up viral in the wrong way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. 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 You have to.
Aaron, on the other hand.
Yeah. 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 Right. Listen, you guys balance each other out. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I think that's true too. Like you have to have discernment, you
Mhm.
know, what would resonate and like what wouldn't. Because there's definitely trends that have come across our desk and it's like, okay, this is hysterical, but there is no way that I could caption this the right way to make it resonate as a branding agency owner,
Yeah.
you know? But then there's some, it's like, okay, this is a little edgy, but I think I'm gonna do it, you know? Um, so you have to push the limits sometimes for your comfort, but I understand what you're saying too. It's like, I know my wheelhouse is not gonna be dances and like that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's totally okay. Are there any other don'ts that either of you could think of? Things that you want to stay away from, or even just like cringy things, I don't know, that like you see on social or in marketing that people do. I mean, I can think of a couple more if you can.
I, I mean, like, guys, my head is like there's just like there's so many of them.
I
You know.
know. I know. What about DMs?
That's
Like when
what.
people.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Hmm. So, and I'm sure well, like like why is cold DMing still a thing?
So
Like,
yeah, that is so like I was just gonna say that DM like people will come into your DMs and it's just
yeah,
like first of all, don't come into my DM and start spouting about what you do and what I need.
yeah.
When you don't even follow me, you address my name wrong, you spell my
Oh,
name wrong. My
yeah,
name
that's
is
a good one,
on my
right?
book.
It's like,
You know what I mean? So it's just like you already look like a scam. You
yeah,
know what I mean? When you're in my DMs trying to hit me up for business and you address me with the wrong name, you don't use punctuation right and
so bad.
you don't even follow me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that happens too. It's like it's very prescriptive. Like I know what your problem is. I know how I can help you. And I have like a script that I throw right back at them. Like, hey, well, yeah, like you spelled my name wrong. That's not even my business. Like they'll say, "Oh, I see you own branding agency." Bada bun. I'm like, that's not even the name of greater. Okay. Might I give you a suggestion of how you can pivot out of this because this isn't good. Like you're not helping anybody or upselling anything. Your conversions are probably low. Might I suggest building a relationship? Just just a thought, like,
Right.
and even when I reached out to you guys, like it wasn't, like, oh my gosh, I have to do a live with them. Like, no, it was like, oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Like, I love this piece of content. What hooked me into your account was I saw the video, I think it was of your father-in-law filming. Like, hey, if you only want to pay like $300, like this, or something like that, right? Like, this is, here you go, no problem. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. But he's also speaking to the deeper values that I align with. Like, no, like, we really value high quality work. Like, yes, we love our in laws and like our family, but like, no, like we're going to put out the best content possible for you. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's all about building relationship. It's
Right.
like, bring that back.
Right,
Bring
exactly.
it
You
back,
have
people.
no idea. Melissa, you have no idea how many people, I mean, just from that reel too alone, that I have connected with all around the world, Africa, Australia,
Isn't that crazy?
UK, I mean, all over the States. You were one of the people I've connected with. But that's the nice thing about making a piece of content that resonates
Yes.
with your audience or people even in the same field as to what you do, because you're allowing people to be heard and seen. And I think that's just great. Like the on-screen text. When you tell me your budget is $300, this is the guy I'm sending to film your video
Yeah.
project. Like I said, because we value, like, no, our camera body alone is $4,000, and you put a $3,000 lens on it, and then
Right.
you put a
Yeah.
$300 microphone set on it, and then a $200 SD card,
Yeah.
and then you know what I mean. Like that adds up. No, like that's why So I'm in a way explaining that's why video isn't cheap. There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of time,
Yeah.
a lot of skill.
Yeah.
A lot of invested into equipment. So, but yeah, I thought like that video alone I've connected with so many
Yeah.
people. It's so awesome,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. I'm gonna have to reshare it to my stories to orient people which video I'm talking about. But it's it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And I feel like if you're intentional about all these things, right, you're going to attract your people. Like the algorithm was algorithming when
Yes.
we connected. So, and even though we're on the East Coast, but we're in different states, it doesn't matter. Like that's why like brand values are everything because it's what connects people always,
Mhm.
you know, always, always.
That's why it's called social media. I tell people, a lot of people are like, oh, it's social media, like, and they don't want to engage. They don't want to, show up. I'm like, that's the point of social media, is to have these kind of, experiences that we're having now. It's being
Yeah.
social.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that leads me to another don't.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yes.
thought of something.
Yeah.
Well, like when we do the analogy of if you're going to a social event, right? Someone wouldn't come up to you and say, "Hey, Kate, I really like your necklace," and I wouldn't say nothing and then walk away,
Mhm.
right? I would say, "Thank you. I got it at
Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of people, I'm always trying to engage with other accounts, and you write something and you never hear back from them. And those people, they aren't engaging with their clients, and they're wondering why their engagement is low.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you would tell someone thank you in person, you can use the same, say thank you on
Yeah.
Or
Instagram
at least like their comment.
or
At least
do
like it.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that too. It's like, it's okay. Like, because I think also probably what happens is so many people have been burned before where they're like afraid to engage. It's like, oh my gosh, if I do say, thank you so much, or I do say, oh man, this part of your content was awesome, or it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be upsold something and I don't want to, it's like, no, there's decent people out there.
Yeah, they're not all bad.
No, but I know what you're saying too. It's be,
Yeah. Don't post
be
and ghost, like post and engage with people that are,
yeah,
commenting on your stuff.
right. Yeah, I think that's important too. And I know it's hard, especially if you have a video where there's like so many comments, like to stay on top of it, it could be hard. But like there's nothing wrong with engaging it with your community in the comments as well. Like I see that a lot with certain accounts where people will post something, they'll have a treasure trove of like amazing engaged comments, and it just sits there. It gets dusty.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like look at all those
Those
opportunities
are your
for you to,
people.
those are your people.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
literally raising their hand.
Yes. Saying, hey, communicate with me, talk with me. So I think that's like something too, like don't ignore your audience
Mm-hmm.
that are,
That's so true. And like the thing is too, like with the like when you reshared my
yeah,
reel, I connected with you. That was the first I said something like my field's about to be booked for the whole year, and you laughed at
yeah,
it. And then we started talking,
yes, yeah,
you know?
yeah, right. Exactly. It's like those are your people. And again, remember, like maybe like not necessarily your customer, But remember, your sphere of influence is everything. You never know the connections that you're going to make. So even if it's somebody engaged in your community that is in your niche or in your industry or like in a similar role like we are, that doesn't like, oh my gosh, there's clients of mine that travel to your state all the time. Now I could say, hey, connect with them, like shoot content. Hey, you're gonna be there for a couple of months, like you did a branding shoot, like I have the person for you know what I'm saying? So it's all about collaboration. I heard this awesome quote from a colleague this past week. I was at a networking meeting with him, and he said, I love this so much. He said, competition happens at the bottom and collaboration happens at the top.
100%.
And it's all about, like, that's what it's all about. Like, yes, collaborate, network, connect, bring the social back into social media. Like, I feel like that's one of the things we have to lean into going forward, you know. And then abundance and lead gen, that's like a natural byproduct of that. You don't have to fake it, you know, just show up and be you, add value, connect. It'll naturally, have you both seen that happen too with the business? Is if you put that at the forefront as a value, abundance and all these other things are a natural byproduct of that anyway.
Absolutely. 100%. You have to have an abundance mindset. You know, there's enough business out here for everyone to eat. And it's nothing wrong with encouraging another business owner to be successful and to cheer them on. There's nothing wrong with that. And I encourage you to do that because that's only going to do good for you and your vibe, right?
Exactly. I totally agree. But I feel like this was a lot of value to add to our communities today. How can people connect with you and find you and work with you? Like, please share with everybody how they could do that.
Kate, do you want to share?
Yes, I'm Instagram at Kate Has the Key. I'm sure we'll be tagging it here in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have A. Howard Productions. We also have a third account, which is our downstream marketing account. That's where we kind of talk about our group coaching and what we offer, and kind of gives you an insight as to who we are and how Kate and I work together, as far as that goes.
Awesome.
So I also have a YouTube channel where you can kind of see some of my work that I've done. A lot of businesses and corporations like to go there. I have a lot of corporate work there and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Instagram is where we're at, and where you can, connect with us. What about you? How can people connect with you? Where can we find you?
Yeah, and your group coaching program, is that open for enrollment right now?
Oh, yes.
Upcoming, like, is there any big things like for enrollment that people should check out too?
That's a good question. Yeah, so you can join our group coaching program anytime.
Awesome.
Every session, we have sessions every week on Tuesdays at noon, and they're recorded. So if you miss a session, you can always go back and rewatch all the way from the beginning and kind of keep up with where we are. But it's a great opportunity to connect with others, but also learn specific strategies that you can use to grow your business, your brand, generate leads and sales. And that's the whole goal, is to get people accelerated and up to speed on their social media marketing, especially entrepreneurs who are a one-man show and are doing it themselves. You know, this is a good foundation for entrepreneurs and business owners to really understand, what they're doing and how to attract their ideal client and to create the content they need. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, and you can join for as low as $150 a month. And people think that that's crazy, but
awesome. Hell of a deal.
Yeah, it's a really good deal.
And I feel like you guys nurture your community in a really beautiful way, and you're so hands-on. I mean, I see the videos and the behind the scenes stuff all the time. It seems like an amazing program, so definitely check them out. Same thing, I'm mostly on Instagram, Grit, G-R-I-T and A-N-D, Grace, Graceds. So that's how you can find the agency. And yeah, gritandgracedesignstudio.com is our website. But yeah, mostly Instagram is where most as well. So whether you're in New York or Florida, listen, hit us up. East Coast baddies, like we're here. Like we're here for you to add value. And I'm really excited that we all chatted today and connected. I feel like these are some solid do's and don'ts for
Yes.
5. And yeah, so if anybody has any questions, please reach out, comment, DM us. Like, let's stay connected. And guys, I think we should do this again. I think we should do another IG live one day.
I would love to. I would like to actually have you on one of our coaching calls as a guest speaker.
I would love to add value in that way too, guys.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great idea.
I'd love that. I'd love that. Well, everybody, guys, is there anything else you want to share, plug before we tap out?
No, thank you for the opportunity. It's always good to connect with people who, are like-minded and aligned, and it's beautiful. We're definitely going to stay connected, and everyone out there expect to see more of us 3 together.
Yeah. And I just want to say we really appreciate, if anyone saw our IG live marketing photos, that was all her, and she did an amazing job. I'm like, wow, this looks really good. So
I love
great job on that. We appreciate you doing all that.
Thank you. No problem. Listen, when a graphic needs to be done and I'm in the creative mode to like whip one out, I'm just like, hey, here you go. Approve.
Gorgeous.
Let me know. But that's what it's all about. It's just getting the job done, adding value to each other, connecting. And hopefully for everybody, 2025 will be the best year ever.
Right.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye. Have a great weekend.
Good day.
Bye.